Hello judges, welcome to the NullPay SDK demonstration video. So in the previous wave we had a very simple logic for the SDK and it only had the use of the subscription value. So in this wave you can see multiple changes. First is obviously the UI change, and now you can see that there are multiple payments options that you can choose. So we do not want to leave any developer out. They want to do anything with the payment, we are welcoming them. So the first thing is the subscription, in which you already have the fixed value, like this subscription is going to cost you $1 a month, $1 USDC a month. So we have the support for all the types of tokens. So you have credits, USDCX, USAD. So you just have to click on subscribe and you can do that. We also have the support for the dynamic tokens, a dynamic type of invoices. Suppose you have the conversion that 1 USD will be converting to 100 tokens, and you want to and now the user wants to decide how much tokens they want, like 10, I want this much tokens, I want $2 worth of tokens, I want $5, $10. So it depends on the user, and this is where our standard type of invoice will make sense. If I just click on the pay invoice, it will start creating the standard invoice which the user can pay. And now coming to the final type, that is the donation type, which is very important for the for fundraising, for charity things, etc. So it is very important for the developers also. So here you have the option to choose your accepted currency, that in which currency you want to choose. So first I will show you. So now so previously what the developer had to do, they had to manually go to the create invoice, and they had to create the invoice for their they have to create the invoice hash. They have to copy that invoice hash, invoice salt, and then go to their backend service and then add that. It was a lot of headache for the developers, and as a developer we want to make the life of other developer very easy. So we thought of, why not making a CLI tool that will help the developers make the invoices in a much better way. So we thought of doing that. Still, if someone wants to create the invoice hash and the invoice salt on their own, they can just choose this option and they can just create the thing. This is like just for the giving the better insights. So if you just come to the developer page, you can see that there is a more expanded documentation. So here you can see all the if I just copy this and refresh this, okay, so here you'll be able to see all the all the invoice that you have created just for the SDK, and you will be able to see the same type of thing that you see in the dashboard. All the invoice distribution, token distribution, total volume, total pending, total settled. So this is segregated from the dashboard thing, so you will have a clear idea of how much your SDK is getting used. So you will see another interesting package that we have deployed. So it is the CLI package. If you just copy this command and come to the like the root, you have to come to the root of your you see that you have to run this inside the root of your Node.js backend. So suppose that this is the root of my Node.js package. I will just paste this command, and I will just click on enter. It will download the NullPay CLI package that we have published on the npm. So now we have 3 npm packages that are published. So it is basically the authentication step. So you just have to come to enter your name, and you have to just create the secret key. So I already have the secret key in my if I just go to index testing website backend, and I already have the the key with me. I will just paste this, and I will just go and paste this. So now you can see that I have been verified at the merchant. So now you have to choose how many multiple pay invoices that you want to create. So how will you do that? You will do that by analyzing how many payment methods you want into your platform. So here you can see that I have 3 options. So I will just create, okay, I want to create and I want to create 3 basically the thing, and I will just you have to choose the the name of your plan. So I will like basic, but it is for the credit. I will click the amount, and I will choose the token. So I will choose the credit and basic USDCX DCX. The amount is same. I will just choose this. Now basic USAD. Now the amount is 1, and the USAD I have to choose. And now so this buy token is created on point, so you do created on at the particular moment that the user is paying, so you do not have to worry about that. The thing that you have to worry about is the donation. So how much donation ways you want. So suppose I want a donation type of invoice payment method in my website. Oh, you want to create the credit only? Okay, so I have the credit only. I want to create it. I want to create USDC only, USD only, and I want to create all three as well. So now it is asking for, okay, so it is donation but only for the credit. Memo I will leave optional. Donation but for the USDC exp. Memo offline. Donation USAD and donation all, and the memo is offline. And now you can see all the deployment summary. So previously the user had to do that manually by going to the NullPay website, which is I can understand is a very hectic task, and you have to maintain, copy that and put that in your VS Code or the ID, and it is a lot of headache for the developers, and you want to so I will just click yes, and it will start submitting the transaction to the alien network. And good news for the developer, we NullPay are sponsoring all the fees that is required to create all these invoices. So you do not have to pay any penny for creating these invoices. We are sponsoring that on behalf of you. So now we'll wait for all the block confirmation. So all these invoices are signed by our relay network, but you do not have to worry about that. The money, the invoice has payments, the invoice has proofs, the invoice proofs, everything, every proof will go to you. We are just signing the transaction on behalf of you, so do not have to worry. So I will just pause the video and we will wait for it to happen. And boom, bro, all the invoices are created for you on behalf of us. So now you have to you can choose where do you want to paste your nullpay.json file. But it is like if you have the backend somewhere else and you are running this command somewhere else, you can do that. But yeah, I am running it in the root of my, it is an optional step, so I will just click enter, and now you can see that the summary of all the donation type of invoice, you have the hash. So now I will just give you a very a unique thing. I will just go to the file explorer and I will just click this, and now you can see that I have all the invoices generated for me. I do not have to do anything. I do not have to deal with any shield word pop-up. So it created the invoice basic credits, the currency is credit, the invoice hash, the invoice salt, everything is created for me by the NullPay. So it is a very good kind of thing that you have. So now how we are going to use the nullpay.json file? So you just have to come to the, suppose this is my index.js. So you have to come to, I will just show you sessions. Okay, so now you can see that all constant configured invoices is equals to nullpay.invoices that get invoice. So you just have to paste the nullpay this file into the root of your backend, and it will automatically fetch this command will automatically fetch all your invoices. And then you can just create you can just add a for loop, and you can basically make the endpoint for each specific each specific invoice. So for the basic credit, it will be creating like invoice, it will be creating the endpoint that is API/basic credits, and you'll be able to by creating session, previously you have to like enter the amount, you enter the invoice hash. You do not have to do anything right now in this flow, because everything is already taken care of you. All the amount, all the invoice hash, all the salt, everything is done for you. You just have to enter the session name, and you can just have to add the success URL and the cancel URL. So yep, this is the entire very powerful flow that we have with the SDK now. So it is very easy for the developers to integrate the NullPay with our website. So I will just show you, if I just create a subscribe page, so it is creating the okay, so you can see that it has created the checkout for me, and I can pay via the I can just connect the wallet. It is just a standard code that we have. I will show you the one interesting thing that we have. Okay, so I will just for the $5 I want to create, and I will just click on this pay $5. It will take some time because it is creating the invoice on it is creating the invoice at this particular moment, so the user might have to wait a little. So I will just come to you after it has confirmed. Okay, so now you can see that the invoice has been created by the NullPay, and you can see that here you have the dynamic amount, and you can just select the wallet, and then you'll be able to get the credits that you signed up for. And this is the flow that we have with the SDK now, and it is a much better flow that we have previously. I will try to show you the donation as well. So I will just click on any, and it will start creating the invoice for me. And you can if you are not believing me, so if I just go to this hash, and if I just go to the nullpay.json, you can see that this is the same support any donation type, any currency, any, and the hash and the salt is exactly the same that we have in this. So you can just create any the token that you want to pay into, and you can enter the amount that you want. It is basically the donation for the charity. So this is the flow that we have now with the SDK. The detail, all the detail information about the SDK, the quick start, the CLI tools, how the NullPay JSON is, it is a very optional thing. You do not have to necessarily use the NullPay.json. You can still go to the previous method by specifying the. Also, you have you have the null pod with you now, so you can just navigate to the NullPay. You can how do I get my secret key as the merchant, and it will tell you all the steps that you have to do. So you have to come to you have to come to the website, you have to do this, do that, and if you are seeing any problems, you can just ask the NullPay bot. It is specialized in this kind of thing. So so that's it from my side. Thank you judges for watching the tutorial. I hope you like the NullPay. I hope you like our vision. What are we trying to do with NullPay? So thank you for that. Bye.